All right, we are riding. It's 33 degrees on this Monday morning on Frederick Douglass Boulevard. Yeah, it's a little cold. I'm gonna take this route that I took last time, which is basically straight down Central Park, and then through down 7th Avenue. A little dicey, but like much faster, and I don't know, to be honest, like more comfortable. This guy just went through a red light. HDM 6296 Altima on the phone, waving his hands because he's probably on the phone. I also went through kind of a red light, but like a little bit different when you're on a bike. It's like walking on a red light. Yeah, this route is a little, I'm gonna go, you know what, I'm gonna go this way and then go on the sidewalk here, which is a little bit funky, but gets me to where I want to go, because this is a really cruddy path for cyclists. Like, look at this. So if I want to go into the Central Park, I'm on the right side there, and then I got to cut across all this traffic, either here where I go on a sidewalk or go like all the way around the circle. There's no direct path, and it's super annoying and like needlessly dangerous. So I'm just gonna go this way. It's a little chiller this way. Do not have the right of way. These guys are gonna go. So yeah, it's like 30. So I think it says it feels like 33. Yeah, part of the reason I'm not taking the Greenway is because this route is like 10 minutes. Whoa. 68287 MH, that gray van over there. This is Suzu just going through a red light. Dude, red light. Yeah. ZLK 5105 Pennsylvania. Guy just looked at me and shrugged. I'm like, dude, you're going through a red light. Come on. So, yeah, the reason I'm not gonna take the Greenway is because the Greenway is awesome, but in this kind of cold weather, it's just, it does a number on my face. Just the wind, it's brutal. Oh shit, this is falling out. There we go. The wind is pretty brutal. It's definitely 10, 12, 13 minutes longer as a route. And I don't know, this route is not bad because think about it, like I'm going straight into Central Park. I actually really minimize my, this is a hill. It does start on a steep hill, so I am already out of breath. So you're in Central Park, which is just a gorgeous car-free experience, especially like in the fall like this. It's really quiet. And then you do get dumped out into 7th Avenue South. So you go 59th. For me, I gotta go about 30 blocks unprotected. It's like unprotected sex. It's like unprotected bike riding is like dangerous. It's risky. And it is risky. Yesterday was World Day of Remembrance for traffic victims, to commemorate the 100 or so Americans who die every single day. Every single day, 100 people die from car crashes. You're talking, right, like more than 100 on average. something like 40,000 people die each year just from acute like car crashes, like just people who are dead because they were either hit by a car as a pedestrian or in a car and crashed the car. It's unbelievable how devastating driving is. And so those are just the people who've died, right? There's another like several million injuries. And we're not talking like, you don't get like, oh, you know, oopsie, I got bumped by like this nincompoop police for driving in Central Park when it's a car-free park. So it's pretty dangerous when they do stuff like this because nobody is expecting a car. People, you know, can span out the full width of the road because naturally it's car-free. So like, yeah, this is super frustrating. Why are these people in an SUV? Oh, they're just taking shortcuts. That's what they're doing. Right, of course. They're not actually Central Park police. They're regular, you know, precinct police in the wherever on the west side. But they just took a little shortcut because they didn't feel like, because they could, basically. So anyway, back to the World Day of Remembrance. You know, so you have 40,000 people who are killed each year from car crashes. On top of that, you have millions who are injured. And injuries obviously these are like devastating injuries, you know? This isn't like I bumped and like kind of bumped my knee and like I'm gonna be just fine and I'm gonna be back to running and in no time. You know, most of these injuries are probably, maybe not most, but right, like a very large number of people. You're talking about maybe 1 million people or whatever, even if it's just a third, who have what you would call like life-altering injuries. You're not talking like necessarily like paralysis or something that's really really devastating or extraordinarily costly, right? Chronic pain, things like that. Obviously that happens probably to some percent, and that's devastating. But then on top of that, like if you talk to just people who like just got in normal, I say normal like in quotes, like in a crash that didn't kill you and didn't maim you, you still have your life is still altered by that. You might be then like have like limited movement in your right arm. I mean, there was a guy that spoke yesterday at you know, this rally that I went to, that was, you know, with Transportation Alternatives, Families for Safe Streets. Charles Schumer was there, Jerry Nadler was there, a whole bunch of, you know, basically many New Yorkers who have been involved or personally touched or personally affected by car vehicular violence. And they read the names of New Yorkers who were killed in the last 12 months. Just absolutely devastating. You have Families for Safe Streets, who many of them are like the moms of children who were killed by, you know, recklessly turning drivers or speeding drivers, or even like drivers just turning, not paying attention, going 5 miles an hour, running over your child. Like, you don't have to speed to be reckless. Speeding is like, you should fucking lose your license if you go more than 5 miles over the speed limit anywhere near like where pedestrians are, right? In a highway, fine, whatever, it's a little less risky perhaps, but you know, when you're driving around these streets, one tiny wrong move and you hit a building or something, or you pull into a coffee shop going 30 miles an hour, just that extra couple miles an hour and the inability to slow down or stop in time just maim a whole bunch of people. And this shit happens. Crazy how frequently it happens. So anyway, that's my So that gets me, you know, fired up and pissed off. So that was yesterday. But today it's a little rainy. I mean, it's wet, but it's not raining right now. I am already sweating. I'm gonna be honest. I'm wearing these gloves. These are my ski gloves. These are pretty heavy duty gloves. I have not tried biking with them till today. I was biking with the my like much lighter, but still like regular sort of winter gloves, but a little lighter. These are the kind of heaviest gloves I own. These are ski gloves. They're really pretty thick, and they're doing a good job keeping my fingers warm. They're doing a good job. I'm not sure if it's 10 degrees colder than this. I don't know if I could handle it. My feet are definitely a little chilly. So yeah, I'm on my city bike. I'm also doing a Strava ride right now, so I can kind of measure the distance and speed of this particular route. I'm just curious, because I think I can do, I mean, this is basically the most direct route. It's not exactly direct, but because obviously you can see these kind of rolling hills and curves around Central Park, these like sort of scenic vistas are not exactly like a straight route the way like Central Park West is, but it's the safe, you know, I'll take safety and an extra 2 minutes of riding up and down some hills, and honestly the beauty of all this over the directness. And then when you hit 7th Avenue, straight shot, no protection until you hit 30th Street. So you gotta go 30 blocks with no protected lane, no nothing. Not that paint does a goddamn thing for you, but they don't even have that. It's pretty amazing how shitty, how like disconnected these kinds of streets are. Still, like it's almost 2020. Just think about that for a second. 2020, it's a year. 2019 is a year that 28 cyclists have been killed. 28. It's like triple last year. That's crazy. So Vision Zero not working out, not aggressive enough. And so we're going into 2020 and I'm still riding 7th Avenue down and 6th Avenue up on 30 blocks of completely unprotected highway-like streets, right? With zero protection. Not that like, I mean, and paint is garbage. Paint isn't protection at all. Paint doesn't do a goddamn thing. In fact, most of the time what it does is it indicates to drivers this is a good place to pick up passengers or drop off people, or if you need to move your sofa, this is a great spot. Or if you're FedEx and you know you don't pay taxes, like the New York Times article that just came out, they stopped paying like 1.5 billion in taxes from last year or something to this year, thanks to the Trump tax cut. Like, these guys are the worst, you know? Now they're doing their job, but I mean they being like the company, right? Company should take very serious, like be very seriously focused on improving the safety of like the streets in which they operate, knowing that they're moving these trucks all over these congested cities and doing nothing about any of it, right, is pretty shitty. It's pretty shitty. We've documented tons and tons of FedEx and UPS and US Postal Service trucks who are, you know, parked in the bike lane, parked in the crosswalk, doing whatever. Wow, this guy's on a city bike in front of me, just blew right past me. Man. Alright, so my hands are hot and sweaty, and my body is hot. So that's good. I mean, I guess it's pretty good. I think my feet are numb. My little toes are numb. So that's fun. But other than that, we're good. And I'd rather be like kind of warm and toasty. Okay, so it says 38 degrees up there, and I don't know if you can see. It's a big screen on the roof of this building up here. So it tells you the temperature and the time and stuff. 38 degrees, not that cold. I mean, maybe it seems like it might be cold, but it's really not that cold if you have some decent circulation. Well, it did take me about 15 minutes or so to warm up, I'd say. Now the fun really begins. We get through Central Park. And down 7th Avenue. Hope nothing happens. This is pretty terrifying. I mean, I heard, these stories. This guy speaking yesterday, whose arm was in a cast, and he was reading some of the names of victims, and I didn't even notice his arm until he mentioned. He was kind of telling his story and how he was personally affected by traffic violence, and he was hit, and then he's like, yeah, and I have this cast on my arm. I can barely move it. Doctors don't think I'll ever regain real control of my arm. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So, and it's a function of these shitty streets and shitty drivers. Everybody and their mom has a license. Do I have the right way here? Yes, I do. Everyone gets a license, right? Even if you have 800 traffic tickets and speeding tickets and whatever, will never take your license away. Once you have it for life. Even if you don't have it, we still make it insanely easy for you to get access to a car. Even if you literally don't have a license, or your license expired, or your license is revoked, or whatever. Or you previously killed somebody and you were a drunk driver. Like, all these kinds of things. Just putting my hands, yeah, my hands are pretty warm now. All right, well, nobody's behind me, so that's good. Now people are behind me. And you better believe they are speeding up to hit traffic up here so they can go 40 miles an hour on one stretch of road so that they can then stop and crawl on another. Like this guy, who can now average 8 miles an hour because he's not moving here. Good job. You recklessly endanger the lives of a whole bunch of people so that you can go really fast on one road and then go really slow on another. This guy's backing up. Nothing but obstacles. Such a pile of crap here. And yet you still have cyclists all riding. Good for them. You know? Like you look around, hey. And this guy, he's clearly a parent. And then you have to mix with like 800 of these vehicles that really have no business being in city centers. It makes no sense. This Mercedes is going through a red light. Just went through a red light. PMD 12H Mercedes. You clearly don't know the rules here. Maybe I should be a little safer around her, but fuck her. No, I'm just kidding. That's not nice. It's not a nice thing to say. But she should be fully aware that there are cyclists on the road. And maybe she's not paying any attention. Maybe she's blind to anybody that's not in a vehicle. But, you know. So I keep looking right and left just to make sure that these guys aren't cutting me off. Or if they are, then I can respond. Like this guy is probably going to cut me off here. Oh, it's a woman. Nope, just kidding. Cool bike. Everybody's like Tetris here. Everybody wants to like, all these drivers always just like sneak in. Like, dude, yeah, I can get in here, but you can't. Cool. Pull into the crosswalk, spit out the window. Nicely done. 48th and 7th. Look at this. Imagine this, but not with any goddamn cars. This congested pile of garbage back here, the sewer. This guy's already pulling out. What is he? 8M23. Cool, thank you for almost killing me so that you can get to that spot faster. Alright, fuck you. I'm gonna pull in front of you and then slow down a little bit. You can kind of deal with it. Guess what? We're all going an average of 8 miles an hour. What do you think is going to happen? You're in Times Square in a suburban SUV. Like, what do you think is happening here? You think you're just going to do 50 miles an hour like Fast and the Furious? God damn. And here you got nothing to indicate to pedestrians. I mean, that was pretty easy. That's fine. This whole area really should be pedestrianized, like much more aggressively. There should be like one lane here for drivers, and then everything else pedestrianized. And like this. This is like, what is this crap here? All right, can I get through? I can get through. Get through. All right, that probably wasn't my best move, but fruits and vegetables, wholesale, going through, left turn. So here, so look at this. Here's where the bike lane ends, and just take a look at how terrible this design is. I want to go across the street straight, right? You can see there's 3-4 blocks of protected, nice infrastructure here. 43rd, here we're at 42nd. But up there, there's just nothing but concrete. So I literally have to like pull in front of these vehicles, right? Like, look at what I'm doing here. I have to go in front of people to get through this crap because they stuck concrete barriers down here because there's no bike lane. Now you might say, oh, well, you're not following the infrastructure. And that's true, I'm not. Because it's not direct. And if you do follow the infrastructure, holy crap, you're screwed on time. Because, well, let's focus on this. There's no infrastructure here. And there should be. This is like pretty terrible here. I don't know if that guy was yelling at me. So here you've got 7th Avenue going south, and no bike infrastructure at all. Nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes of cars. Big pile of garbage here. Here's a bus. Let's see if this guy can see. Can you see me? Hello? Hello? Can you see me? You can see me. Hi. All right. He saw me. He made eye contact before running me over. So this garbage should have like 3 fewer travel lanes, right? One of them should be protected. Oh shit! Look at that. There's a bus boarding area right there. So where are we? Between 37th and 36th on 7th Avenue. Yeah. There's a like a half block of boarding area for the M7. I can't see it. Can't see the buses, but well, there's an M7 right now. That's pretty nice. I like that. They just need to do that more aggressively, and then also do that for bikes. Because there's no bike lane, even though this is the straightest path. So getting back there, when you do hit 42nd, and you try to, like, if you just try to follow their crappy infrastructure and the crappy signs, they say, okay, make a left. You're like, all right, make a left. Then they say, okay, make a right, go on Broadway. So you got to go down Broadway, which ain't bad. It's protected, it's pretty chill, it's pretty nice. It's fine. So then you go down Broadway for a bit, and then almost immediately you hit Herald Square, which is right here, 34th, but you know, it's 1 block over. Shut up, man. He's not honking at me. He's honking at the 27 different cars in front of him. Oh God, these people. This is 25180 JP in a box truck going way too fast. I mean, he was going fast, but he was just cutting people off and stuff. I'm like, this guy. Great. And now look, we're all at a red light together. We can have like a little tea party, all of us. These nincompoops. They speed up to slow down and stop. That's basically what they do. So yeah, if you go down and you try to go to Herald Square, 34th Street is an absolute nightmare because you're going sort of contraflow there. Even though there's technically like a bike lane, it's not fast. It's like you're basically stopping at every block. It's just terrible. Seriously, dude? Why are you honking? So he's on the phone with you, but then you have to honk at him. Don't hit me, bro. Don't open your doors. All right, we are on a protected bike lane. I don't know why it's 2019 and this only starts at 30th Street. Don't understand it. Don't understand. There's a bunch of cops here, but a bunch of cars blocking the bike lane up there. This is your mixing zone in action. It's I don't get to go. So, oh, cop? There is a cop. Don't know what he's doing, but maybe he's arresting fare evaders. This guy, 72880MH. He's on the phone and he's looking at his phone, and he just went through a red light. I can testify to that. He has white earbuds on and was looking down at his phone as he passed through the red light. God damn it. These are the people that we share streets with. And we wonder why there's so many crashes. All right, thanks for watching. Till next time, like and subscribe.